Hello, you beautiful, gorgeous, stunning human being listening to this podcast right now. Are you well? Are you surviving? Are you thriving? Are you taking care of yourself? And most importantly, have you had a fabulous week? Have you had a great start to the weekend? I hope the answer is yes. If the answer is no, I am so sorry. I'm sending you so much love, so much good energy, positive vibes, all of that good stuff. And I'm just really hoping that your situation, wherever you may be in your life right now, I'm just really hoping that it turns around for the better soon and very soon, because you just deserve to live a beautiful, healthy, wholesome lifestyle. And yes, granted, there will be those moments here and there where we don't experience those things, but I'm just hoping that the good times make up for it eventually, somehow, some way. I hope that you've had a fabulous week so far before Christmas, if that's what you celebrate. And welcome back to the Doing Life with Love and Magic podcast. I'm your host, Dwentle, and this is the space whereby I like to chat shit, where I like to share my life's perspective as I navigate clumsily through my 20s, because the 20s is a very interesting time. It's a time for learning, for growth, for perspective changes, to build your character, to break it down, to make mistakes, to fail forward, all of those things. And granted, I think we do that anyway in life, but I feel like the 20s is like a more, flexible time to be able to do that and just really discover what your character is. And I think by sharing my journey, if that offers anyone any sort of like perspective change or entertainment or any other sort of value, then I've done my job and I'm happy. And if not, that's okay as well. I think everyone is entitled to find content and people and experiences that resonate with them and their spirit, and just don't feel obliged to carry on listening if it's not your thing and if it's not your vibe. But if you are vibing with me, thank you so much for being here. Like, I appreciate your energy. I appreciate you being here. And yeah, let's just get into it. Where am I today? What am I doing? Currently, I'm standing in our home gazebo. I'm standing in our home gazebo because it is flipping hot outside. Like, I'm literally melting. And I'm just sitting outside, just staring at the trees, hoping that the breeze does the breeze things again, because it is disgustingly hot. And I don't know, I'm just having a moment of reflection and a moment of wanting to talk to you guys. I feel like this week has been a very tiresome week, in the sense that, like, I was just not productive at all this week. Like, I couldn't tell you a single thing that I did from a like work perspective, and also just from like a general life perspective vibe. Like, I went to the gym. I didn't go hard at the gym. I literally just walked on the treadmill and did the cyclings and called it a day. So I definitely do feel like it is that time to kind of wind down and reflect and rest as much as possible. And any opportunity we get to do that, I think we should grab it with both hands. Like, I think now is definitely the time to... What is this cat doing? I'm so sorry. I just got distracted for 2 seconds. I saw this cat jump in the air and I was like, what are you doing? Are you jumping into the window? Because absolutely not. We cannot be doing that. But I'm so sorry. This is what happens when you join this podcast. You just hear random things from time to time. But essentially what I was saying is, I think now is the perfect opportunity to jump on any like activities that you feel will fuel your soul. Like, if you want to be outside, take like full advantage of being outside. If you want to go for walks, go for walks. Like, really engage in activities that will recharge your batteries. I mentioned it in one of my previous episodes when I can't remember what exactly I was talking about, but my therapist had mentioned, like, when you're feeling burnt out, you just need to really engage in activities that will make you feel present and help you feel present. Like, painting or going to the beach and watching the waves, like something to refuel and recharge you. And I think if you have any opportunity to take some time out to rest during this like festive season, I recommend you to do so like fully, and just honestly take it easy. Like, I know sometimes when we take time off, it's very tempting to be like, I have to do all of these things. I need to clean the house. I need to do the washing. I need to run after this person. I need to. Like, yes, sometimes we need to, when we've got time off, to dedicate the time to do the things that we need to do. But within that rest period, I really, really encourage you to set aside, even if it's a couple of hours, even if it's a day or whatever it is, to just focus on doing shit that makes you feel good, that recharges you, that makes you feel happy and content. Because I feel like just to go into 2024 season feeling like a sense of heaviness and exhaustion would be a bad move. And it's definitely, I feel like I have a strong belief that you have to enter the new year in like, I don't know, with like a little bit of a vibe about you, because in some ways it kind of does set up the rest of your year. I don't know if it's just me. I think that's why I'm like so crazy about like, I need to do all the fun shit now so that when 2024 rolls around, at least I'm in like a relatively calm spirit and I feel good and I'm grounded and I'm happy. For the most part, granted, we don't always have control over those things. Like, shit happens and can completely take us sideways. But for the most part, I genuinely just want to enter the new season in a good place, like mentally, physically, emotionally. Like, I just want to feel connected and not so disconnected and stressed out about a lot of shit. So that's kind of what I will be doing for the next couple of weeks while I'm away from work, is just really focus on regenerating myself and rejuvenating my spirit and my mind. So I'm ready to tackle whatever challenges are coming ahead. So anyway, that's kind of like the preface of what I was talking about, or what I wanted to talk about today. I honestly just wanted to share a conversation that I had this morning with my dad, just about like, I guess, purpose and figuring shit out, like as you aging and all of that. So he had been chatting to me and my brother about a relative of ours, and how he's just feeling, a little bit worried and wants us to be there for our relative and supportive, because he's currently going through a time, this is my relative, he's currently going through a time where like shit just isn't going right for him, like career wise, and I think he's struggling a little bit on which direction to go in life. And he's like, as a family, I think we need to just kind of band together and really extend our arms out to him and see if we can help him in any way on his journey. And like at first I was like, homework. But because I don't know, I didn't act, not because he said this, right? It was because he was just talking in general about how if we have family and like people that we know that are close to the family and they need anything, we must always help them. And he was just taking very long to get to the point of what he was actually trying to say, which was just talking about the relative. But when he got more into the story about my relative, I was like, okay, cool, I get it and I understand it. Because I think especially when we are in our 20s, we go through this phase whereby we're trying all of these different things, and at some point, one way or another, we reach a point in time whereby we start getting really confused about the plot of our life, and shit goes left and we don't really know what to do, and we can oftentimes fall into a state of depression and demotivation and lacking self-confidence in ourselves, because we're trying all of these things and there are things that have happened to us, but they haven't like taken off in the way that we want them to take off. And so it can be very disheartening, especially if you're feeling that pressure from external, well, not external, like if you're feeling pressure from the likes of family and friends to get your shit together, but like sometimes you just really don't know like what to do and where to go. And I just really felt for him in that moment, because I understand. I understand, and I feel like we all experience a variation of that feeling, of that fear, of that lack of confidence, and that confusion in a sense. And so when Dad was just talking to us, he was just, I think in a way, he was also trying to pick our brains in terms of like what we could do to help him. And I don't know what it is, but in my mind, whenever I feel confusion about a situation, about life and all of that, like I like to strategize about things. Like whenever I feel stressed, I like to write things down, and I try and configure it, and I'm like, okay, cool, like what do we do? Like it's kind of been the motto this year in terms of like, what do we do? We need to be action orientated, because here's the situation and I'm feeling this way about this situation. Like, how do I get myself out of it? Because there's absolutely no way that I foresee myself spending the foreseeable amount of time in this, I don't know, circumstance or in this environment or whatever it is. And so in my mind, because this is how my brain works, I'm in marketing, I like to strategize. And so I was like, for me, and not everyone works in the same way, but for me, I just feel like it's cemented how important it is to just have a vision for yourself of what you actually want your life to be. And I feel like, I don't even know if a lot of people do this, but do people spend time just thinking about their future, like how they want it to look, how they want to feel? If they had to explain what their perfect day is, like would they be able to explain it? Like, I know sometimes when we ask people like, what do you want in your future, it's like, I want money. But yes, everyone wants money, but like, how do you want to live your life? Like, how do you want to lead your life? Like, do you see yourself going into an office every single day? Or do you see yourself like opening up your laptop and working along the beach? When it comes to career, like, what is your vibe when it comes to your overall goal? And I think really understanding that and knowing, in a sense, like, and it's not even a thing of you need to know all of the details. I think a lot of people get really worked up and like overwhelmed by the idea of thinking big, because maybe sometimes there's that hesitation because it's like, it doesn't seem possible for me, or I don't know how to get there, or it seems crazy and stupid. But everyone is here for a different purpose in this life, right? And what makes sense to me in terms of like a life purpose is not going to make sense to somebody else. Like, we all have different things that call to us. And so what calls to you on a spiritual level, on a heart level, can never be ridiculous or crazy or obscene or whatever. I truly believe that if there's something that you want out of this life that you picture for yourself, it means it has been gifted to you by the higher powers that be, because you are deserving of living that particular lifestyle. So I guess my thing for him was, and what I explained to my dad is like, I've actually never, when we've had conversations, I've never actually got a sense of what life does he actually see for himself. Like, what does he want to, like, what does he want to experience? Like, if he wants to travel, where does he want to go? If he wants lots of money, what is he doing with that money? Like, I think I got a very broad sense of what he kind of wants in life. But I felt like, okay, maybe he needs to spend some time actually thinking about that and reevaluating that, so he can kind of get to the nitty-gritties of the details of it. Anyway, so after I had that conversation, then I was like, okay, cool. So in line with this big vision, right? Let's go down into the individualized goals. And I think I've mentioned this before, but I like to separate my goals into different aspects of my life. So I've got like relationships, I've got financials now, and I've got financials, I've got like career or like lifestyle type situation. And then I've got something else. Like I need to have had the actual thing in front of me. And again, this will really depend on what drives you and what's important to you. Maybe you only want career and financial goals and you couldn't give a shit about anything else. That's your prerogative. But for me, that's how I like to split it. So in those categories, I then go in and I'm like, okay, cool. Because for me, how I've started looking at, I guess, like everything is, I don't know, I feel like New Year's resolutions have become like less important to me, and it's become more about like the chapters of my life. So currently I'm in chapter 25, and what I did when I turned 25 is I actually drew up the goals and the things that I wanted to accomplish within my chapter 25, which will obviously take me into 2024. So I literally, in those different categories, have gone into all the goals that I want to accomplish within this chapter, and then I've placed some action steps that you can do either on a monthly basis, daily basis, whatever it is that drives you, in order to like feel like I'm making some sort of progress. Because the thing that I was finding, I think really between like 21, 22 and 23, is that I was kind of just cruising through life. And granted, we were going through COVID, and it was just really hard to accomplish any sort of goal because you couldn't actually go outside and do shit and make some damage and feel like your life is progressing. So I just felt like for a period of time there, I was just feeling very lost in the plot of my life. I was feeling like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. I don't even know if I'm happy anymore. I'm just feeling really like confused and a little bit all over the place. And so I think one of my categories was also like emotional goals. So part of that, one of my action steps was to take up therapy at least once a month and try and journal at least like once a week or something along those lines. And I think it really has helped me gain a little bit perspective on how I'm feeling and where I'm going, and to really just take stock of my emotions. And I just feel like it also gives you a sense of accountability, because at some point you do have to check in with yourself and be like, okay, this is the big dream. Let's remind ourselves again. And these were the sub goals. How are we tracking against those sub goals? Are we doing well? Are we not doing well? If we're not doing well, how can we re-strategize? Do I need to reach out to somebody to help me achieve this? Or like, what's my vibe? What's my situation? And I feel like a big part of, I guess, fulfilling any dream in this life is having that sense of self-accountability. Like, you have to be so serious about what it is that you want, that you are willing to try anything and go at it from all angles. I think it's not enough to just kind of go with the flow and put it out into the universe and expect for like the best. Like, granted, yes, like it's lovely to do that. Always expect for the best as much as possible. But in reality, you have to put some sort of work and consistency in it or behind it in order to push it forward a little bit, you know? And so, yeah, I don't know. It just really got me thinking that I really need to recommit to my goals. It was just, in a way, a nice reminder to myself to ask myself the question, how am I tracking against my goals? Like, do I feel like I'm moving forward in terms of going in the direction that I ultimately want to be in? Because I know in my head how I want my life to look like. And right now I'm seeing elements of it, but like, how are we pushing it even further? Like, how am I really like, you know, putting fire in the hole metaphorically to make this shit happen? Because at the end of the day, no one can make it happen for you. You have to do the shit to make it happen. So I just found that was like a really like interesting talk that didn't go in the direction that I thought it was going to. Like, I think sometimes when dad comes through with his chats, I like, and maybe it's like something I need to explore in therapy as well, but I feel like sometimes when he comes there and he starts talking, I get worried that we're going to get forced into doing something we don't want to do, especially like during the holidays, because I know how he is. He's very like, you guys have free time, so we're going to do all of these things, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and you're going to clean the lawn, and you're going to do this. And like, I was not here for it. I was not ready for it. But in a way, I understand where he's coming from. He's expressing concern for someone that we know is just very talented and could actually do a lot with their life. But at the same time, I did explain to him that there has to be also a little bit of, I don't even know, like a little bit of intention from the person that we are helping, you know, like as much as you can help someone with a plan and strategize until the cows come home, if the person is not willing to implement and keep it consistent, then like, you know, what's the point? And I feel like maybe in that case, because I'm also just thinking for people in general, like that maybe don't have someone or a family that's there to kind of push them. Like, how do you inspire that sort of not even motivation, because like a lot of people say like motivation is the fire that kind of gets you started, but ultimately you have to have that drive within you and that discipline within you to kind of keep it consistent and keep it going. And that's the only way you're going to get any sort of result, whether you're in the gym, whether you're building something for yourself or whatever it is. You're not always going to have motivation, and so there has to be that sense of discipline in you. So it's like, how do you spark that in someone and keep it running for a long time? Like, it's a very tricky one. But I guess, I suppose in a way you find accountability partners in a sense, maybe to kind of keep you going for that first little bit until that drive kicks in on your side. I mean, if you know that you're somebody that tends to fall off after a certain point in time. And I suppose that's why people hire things like life coaches, because there's that extra bit of accountability that comes in where you have to report into somebody about like, what are you doing on a regular basis to achieve that goal, you know? And yeah, like it's tough because I say all of this, but I don't know what actually goes through his mind. I don't know where he is emotionally, like mentally. Like, it could be really, really tough to, I guess, move yourself out of that when, you know, things just don't go the way that you anticipate. But yeah, it's really, really tough. But this shit will teach you a lot about resilience. And I think in this life, like, resilience is such a beautiful characteristic and trait to have. Because, like, yeah, you'll be down for a little bit, but eventually you'll get up. And hopefully in you getting up, you will have those amazing people around you to help support you and help move you along in your path. So yeah, I just thought that was something really interesting that I would share with you in terms of, I don't know, building one's dream and purpose and all of that good, delicious stuff that I really enjoy. So just to keep you updated, not that you care, but maybe you do care about where I am. Like right now, I just need to finish off my vision board for 2024. I just think it, like, there's nothing wrong with the one that I created last year. Okay, but maybe there is something wrong because not everything came true, but I just like to see it refreshed. And I just really enjoyed having like my wallpaper be part of my vision board for the different aspects of my life, because it just reminded me of what I want and what I'm working towards. And it was just so exciting during the year to have a look at it and then be like, oh my gosh, low-key, this came true. And oh my gosh, why does this picture look similar to a picture that I took that one time? And yeah, it was actually like, it was pretty lovely. And I still have to reflect on 2023 fully, but I can safely say that this year was a very challenging year, and I feel like it was meant to be challenging because 2024 really might just be the year where you start to see changes in your actual life. And in order for change to happen, I feel like there's an element of preparation that needs to happen before change comes through. Like, the challenges needed to occur so you could learn certain lessons, so that by the time the things that you've been asking for finally arrive in your life, you've kind of been equipped with some of the tools to help you cope and really take on that change in a way that's like, I don't know, graceful and excited about the things that you've been asking for. So yeah, I'm ultimately, how am I feeling about the new year? I'm feeling really chill in a sense. Like, I don't know, I feel like I had a conversation about this yesterday because I actually went out yesterday. So the girls at my pole class, we had like an end of year function situation at this pub bar situation. And I mean, there was one last year I just didn't go for some reason. I think it was partly because I felt like I still didn't know a lot of the girls, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna go there and what am I gonna do? It's gonna be orcs. And also I feel like, I don't know, maybe I had something I was doing that time, so hence why I didn't go. But this year I was like, no. Let's get out of our comfort zone slightly. Like, you see these girls on a regular basis, you formed some sort of connection with some of them, like, pull through, just go have a drink or two and then go home. It doesn't have to be like that deep. You don't have to stay until the cows come home. You just check out the scene, assess out if it's like the right crowd for you, and then you dip. And anyway, so I was scared to get there first because like I was just scared to get there first, and I was like, oh my gosh, what if like I get there and the people I know aren't there, and then like because we all go at different times, right? So some people you don't even meet, and some of them like you bump into them briefly. So I was worried about that, and also I didn't want to be too late because I was like, what if I arrive and there's no spot for me, and then I'm like sitting there like an awkward loner and people are there with their partners and I just don't know what to do. So I ended up getting there pretty late, like I want to say like 30 minutes late. Also, I was having problems with the parking, but as I arrived, there was like this lovely lady that I have met from one or two of the classes. She happened to get there at the same time as me. I was like, oh my gosh, I have a friend. And anyway, moral of the story is her and I ended up chatting about life, just things in general, and it was just really nice, and it was just like really lovely. And she was like, thank you so much for always being so nice to me and sweet to me. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, what do you mean? Like, you seem like a nice person. I wouldn't go out my way to be like a cow to you. Like, that's just not my MO. But anyway, I ended up like, dancing with the girls, having the best time, like honestly just having fun with people that I still don't know that well, but I have seen half naked. So that is very interesting. Like, it was just very interesting to see everyone wearing clothes. I was like, what world am I in? But yeah, I stayed for a couple of hours, had a couple of drinks, danced, and then went home. And it was just like really nice. And no, I didn't go balls to the wall and have lots of drinks. I just had like one or two, and that was fun. I would never ever, if I had the intention of fucking getting lit and drunk, I wouldn't have. I would have left my car. So anyway, yeah, where was I going with this? So, yes, in between, I was having conversations with this lovely lady, and I think we were just talking about like New Year's resolutions and goals, and someone had said that they wanted to take pole more seriously because like as of right now they were just kind of taking it easy, all of that stuff. And we were just talking about New Year's resolutions, and I was like, I actually don't know how I feel about going into 2024. Like usually around this time I'm kind of like excited and like like frothing at the mouth to set my goals, and like wanting a whole new vibe, and wanting to be like a completely different person than I was in the previous year. Like usually like that's my vibe when it comes to like New Year's. And even like New Year's Eve, I'm like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? I need to be doing this. This year I feel none of that, and I don't know if it's because that's yet to set in and it will only like do that next week. But I'm just feeling eerily like, cool, 2024 is around the corner. Great. Like I feel that way, and I don't know how to feel about feeling that way. I feel like maybe in a sense it's good that I'm not like going crazy about wanting to be a completely different person in the new year. Or like, I don't know, maybe subconsciously I know that something is on the horizon in the new year. But even that, like, I don't really feel anything. It's weird. But I don't know, we'll check in again next week and see if I feel any different. But it's weird because usually I'm very excited for the new year. But yeah. Anyway, like I was weirdly excited for 2023. I was like, oh my gosh, there's going to be so much change. It's going to be this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go there. And I'm going to do this. And all I did was like cry and have several mental breakdowns. And I don't know, just find solace in the small moments. Like actually, I feel in very weird ways that 2023, despite all of its stresses, really helped me grow up a little bit more and take shit a little bit more seriously. Like when I look at my finances, for example, there was never any structure around that. So I feel like 2023 came through to slap me in the face, to tell me to get serious about my life and to be like, you want all of these things in your future. Do you know how much that costs? And you out here living La Vida Loca, spending like the money shines out of your ass. Whereas we're not there yet, you know? We haven't made shine money out your ass money yet. Like, we're not there yet. So you need to get it together and start putting processes in place to like get there, you know? And it took being in credit card debt to fucking wake me up and be like, okay, how I'm living right now is just not working. Go and find there the tools and the what to help you get on track to accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish. And actually, like, I just feel like in some ways it came around so I can start putting structures in place. Like, I feel like 2024 will be a much better year financially because, number one, I am predicting very early that this credit card debt will be paid off by the time I turn 26. So I've got a couple of months left, which is great. And then I'll be putting money towards like my future apartment. Like, already I've got some money in there and I'm really excited about it. And like just really putting money towards the things that I like and I enjoy, and just being more conscious of my relationship towards money. Like even now, it's obviously Christmas time and I've been spending, and granted I haven't been as like I guess strict in inverted commas with myself because, you know, Christmas monies, bonus monies came in and all of that, and because I've been out and about with the girls, I haven't had time to actually sit down with myself and reflect and be like, okay, cool, this amount is going towards this. Like on the day we got paid, I was not at home with my laptop to be like, okay, this is allocated to this allocated to this. Like, loosely, I had an idea of, okay, I already know this much is going to go there, this much is going to go there, but I didn't get to allocate, like, fund money, all of that. So I've kind of been rocking with it. I had a moment of panic the other day because, like, I got a message to say, listen, you haven't paid this off, da 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 da. And also I had to replace, like, my car battery, which was quite expensive. So I was having a moment of, like, anxiety. And now what I love about when I experience these emotions is that I literally talk to myself like the same way I would if my partner was feeling some type of way about something. So when I was freaking out about my finances and money and what's to come, I literally took a deep breath, opened up my laptop because I was actually at home, and I was like, okay, cool. Let's go back to our conscious spending plan. Where are we? What expenses are still coming through? How much do we have? How much are we sitting on right now? Okay, cool. Don't worry about it. We've got enough. We've got more than enough. And I felt so much better after that because I've learned to check in with myself now and not just like let the anxiety consume me. Same with, talking to people and all of that. Like, whenever I experience that sense of anxiety and like shit, like, I don't know, I come back into myself and I'm like, okay, cool. What is stressing us about this situation? Okay, reaffirm all the things. Great, cool. Wusa, carry on. So I think it's been a beautiful year to get all of those structures in place and, have a sense or start to establish a sense of stability within so that, like, even when the external circumstances of life do come around and shake things up a little bit, I've got some structure to fall back on so I'm not completely taken off course. Like, literally, if you asked me last year in January to tell you what my expenses are, I wouldn't be able to tell you, but now I know, and I know which day it comes out, and I don't stress out too much about it. Like, honestly, I used to think that I was getting charged for 500 million things, the way I used to stress out so much. Meanwhile, I just needed to get I needed to get familiar. I needed to get familiar with, my finances and to see how I'm living. And I'm like, oh shit, okay. Maybe we can cut this for now. We actually don't use that much. All of that stuff. So, yeah. So maybe 2023 for you was a good year and you experienced some like amazing things. I'm very, very happy for you. Essentially what I'm trying to say through the lessons that I've learned through 2023, and I guess this will double as a reflection type episode, is if your 2024 is looking more like a year whereby you experience a lot of challenges and it's rocking the boat a little bit, you're feeling triggered, it's very emotional, I would say use that as an opportunity to learn more about yourself, more about the things that trigger you, to establish some sort of processes within yourself and within your life to help you cope better with those types of situations. It'll honestly make you feel so much better having something to fall back on when shit hits the ceiling. Like, now when it comes to finances, I know I've got my conscious spending plan. I look at it every single month. I connect with myself like before I get paid, and I'm like, okay, cool, this is what we want to do. We will allocate money towards that, and it has made me feel so much better. And I just absolutely cannot wait to see how my finances grow and how I grow as an individual in the new year. I think personally, I get emotional thinking about it because I don't say it to myself often, and I think we should all say it to ourselves because, like, sometimes, we just roll with the punches. But in this moment, I just want to recognize how proud I am for making it through this year. It felt tough. I just felt very challenged by this year. And, like, granted, there are people out there that are going through so much worse and even wondering whether they will survive. And it's fucking scary, But in what I've experienced in terms of toughness, I'm proud of myself for proving that I am able to somehow survive. And I think if there's anything that you've gone through that you didn't think you could survive, applaud yourself for getting through it. And honestly, just give yourself the biggest hug, because you are an absolute G for handling your shit in the way that you handle it, and still showing up with a smile on your face, showing up when you don't want to show up. Like, you're an absolute star, and I have so much respect for you, even though I might not know you personally. But if you're listening to this, like, mad respect to you, props to you, and I'm just hoping that your 2024 is beautiful and you start to get everything that you could want and so much more, because you would deserve it. And we all deserve it as a collective of people that are trying to not only improve our own lives but improve the lives of others. And yeah, that's my message for the day. I'm feeling a little bit peckish and hungry, so I will be going to get something to eat. But I really do appreciate you for being here. I really do appreciate you for being here. Thank you for spending some time with me. Thank you so much for listening. Please take care of yourself. Please take care of the people around you. Be kind to one another. Like, you genuinely don't know what other people are going through. And sometimes a small smile or a compliment can shake up somebody's life, like, monumentously, honestly. And granted, a small smile or, I don't know, a compliment or whatever doesn't solve huge world wars. But, it can make a small difference to one human being, and that in itself is a huge difference. So I'm sending my love to everybody, to you listening, to the world, people that have been affected by awful things. I hope that we can all find some sort of peace during this terrible time. If you know anyone that's going through it right now, I'm sending so much love to you, and I'm just really hoping that soon and very soon, like, we just come to some sort of, like, resolution and a period of peace and love and just acceptance for everybody, no matter what your struggle is right now. So yeah, thank you once again. If you're looking for any information with regards to what's happening in the world and how you can support, please check out the links in the description. If you want to check out my social medias, which I have not updated in a long time because a girl has been busy getting her I was gonna say something, but I was like, that's very inappropriate. But I've been busy at work and my personal life, so I have not been updating as frequently as possible. But now that I am on leave, I think I will be engaging more in the things that I actually really love to do. So keep an eye out for those updates there. I also have a YouTube channel, and I like to create some music there. If that's what you're into, that's what you want to listen to, that's there. And then what else do I have? Oh, if you want to support the podcast in any way, like, no pressure to do that though, the links are also in the description, so check it out. And yeah, don't forget, everything that you do in this life, whether it's painting your toenails with the color blue, do it with love and a sprinkling of magic. And take care of yourself. I'll chat to you, if not tomorrow. It won't be the next day after that, because the next day after that is Christmas. So I'll catch up with you, let's just loosely say, like, the week before New Year's. We'll check in, we'll do one last hoorah, and then we are going to go into chapter 24 or season 24 of the podcast. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see where this community goes, how we grow. And I'm just excited to share with you, like, even more of the things that I'm learning along the way. And I just really hope that I continue to give value in the new year. But yeah, okay, I've spoken for too much. Thank you. Bye.